Let us start with a new topic, that is psychology as a discipline or branch or stream. So far we have discussed about the nature of psychology, and it might be clear to you that psychology deals with variety of issues related to mental and behavioral functioning of an individual. It also tries or seeks to understand how the mind works and how different mental processes result in different behaviors. So, psychology tries to understand how the mind works and how different mental processes result in different behaviors. So, as a layman, if we try to understand these things, there are many barriers such as our own personal point of view or our own style of thinking or interpreting things. So, what is the difference between the study done by psychologists? Psychologists try to minimize such biases in their explanation of behavior and experiences in many ways. So, in psychology, the analysis of human behavior and experiences is scientific and objective as well as subjective. Now, in Indian tradition, self-analysis and self-reflection of our conscious experiences is held to be a major source of understanding psychology. And if you believe it or not, many Western psychologists also understood the role of self-reflection and self-knowledge in understanding human behavior and experiences. They also adapted this Indian tradition to understand human behavior and experiences. Regardless of whatever methods they used or how they tried to achieve it, the main point is that they try to or they seek to understand and explain the human behavior or human experiences in a systematic and verifiable manner. Now, you tested something and you came to a conclusion, and later on if I test the same and the result must be very much similar. That's it. Okay. Now, psychology, if we say psychology as a discipline, it is very old discipline because we know that psychology has emerged from philosophy. Okay. And it is very young science because we found the first laboratory of psychology in 1879. In 1879 in Leipzig. The first laboratory of psychology we found in 1879 in Leipzig. So, that means it is a very young science, not too old. Now, what kind of science is psychology? Psychology can be considered as a social science, and it is also a subject of study offered under natural science, under the faculty of science. In India, we have both the degrees BA and MA in psychology, and also BSc or MSc in psychology. Okay. Now, neuroscience and computer science are two disciplines which continuously borrow some principles from psychology. In case of neuroscience, we are coming up with different brain imaging techniques like MRI scan, fMRI, EEG, etc. So, with the help of these techniques, we can understand these mental processes in real time. That means, as and when that is happening, we try to understand them. Okay. So, this and in IT field also, both human computer interaction and artificial intelligence cannot possibly grow without psychological knowledge as cognitive process. Thus, psychology has two parallel streams. One is that field which uses methods used in biological and physical sciences, and the second one is that field that uses methods of cultural and social sciences for understanding or studying various psychological and social phenomena. So, in the first case, psychology as a discipline, it focuses largely on biological principles to explain human behaviors, and in the other case, psychology as a discipline, it focuses on how any behavior can be explained in terms of interaction that takes place between a person or his or her socio-cultural environment. So, now let us discuss these two streams separately, psychology as a natural science and psychology as a social science. When we talk about psychology as a natural science, we all know that psychology has its roots in philosophy, and it has come up to this stage and evolved as a natural science only because scientists have scientists study it in a very systematic manner. Thus, they used a scientific method to study this psychological phenomena and gave importance to data that is systematic and can be studied under controlled conditions. The model which they have used, like all natural sciences, is hypothetico-deductive model. The model which they have used here is hypothetico-deductive model. In this model, it starts with a theory. What is theory? A theory is a set of statements about how certain complex phenomena can be explained with the help of propositions which are interrelated. A theory is a set of statements about how certain phenomena can be explained with the help of propositions which are interrelated. So, there are certain propositions which we think are interrelated, and hence this phenomena or that conduct or that concept takes place. So, based on this theory, we deduce or we conclude or propose a hypothesis. We deduce or propose a hypothesis. And what is a hypothesis? A hypothesis is a tentative explanation of how that phenomena takes place. It is tentative explanation of how that phenomena takes place. Now, after developing this hypothesis or hypothetical statement or proposition, we try to test it. And how will we prove it? We collect some empirical data. After collecting this data, we try to test it, and then we see whether this hypothesis is true or false. Testing and proving of hypothesis based on this empirical data is the next step. Okay, so we try to see whether the hypothesis is true or false, and after proving it, we then see if there is any need to revise this theory. After proving it, we try to see if there is any need to revise this theory. Okay, because there were some set of statements or propositions we have started with, that is in the very beginning. So, now we got a conclusion whether that is true or false. So, based on this testing of this hypothesis, we come to a conclusion that whether this theory has some value or not, or whether it needs some changes. If required, those changes are made, and then we come to a conclusion or we finalize the statement. Okay. So, this is about psychology as natural science. Now, one more point. Using this approach, psychologists have developed many theories of learning, memory, attention, motivation, emotion, etc. And another interesting factor is, as a natural science, psychology also studied with evolutionary approach. Phenomena like attachment and aggression have been studied with this evolutionary approach. So, this is all about psychology as natural science. Next, we are moving on to the next topic, psychology as a social science. Psychology studies behavior of human beings in their socio-cultural context. In psychology studies behavior of human beings in their socio-cultural context. We have discussed in earlier also that how the interaction of an individual in an environment or surroundings impact his or her socio-cultural behavior. Likewise, people impact other people's behavior also. And now, so we can say how the environment or the people or in general the society is affecting us. So, psychology studies the behavior in socio-cultural context. And the next point is, humans are not only influenced by their socio-cultural contents, they also create it. For understanding this, we can see an example from your textbook, page number 5. You can read that example. Two persons, both are from different socio-cultural situations, both are from different family backgrounds, both are from different socio-cultural backgrounds. Obviously, both of their behavior will be different. One is introvert or reverse or shy, and the other is social and helping. So, psychology focuses on the explanation of human behavior in the context of socio-cultural context. Psychology as a social science focuses on the individuals and communities in reaction to their socio-cultural and physical environment. As a social science, psychology as a social science focuses on the individuals and communities in relation to the socio-cultural and physical environment. So, it studies our behavior as a member of the group and also focuses on our interpersonal relationships. So, this is all about psychology as a discipline, as a natural science and a social science. Thank you.